Hi everyone, my name is Sitendu Roy and I'll take you through the Advanced Sales Management course to deliver value to the customer as well as to the organization. A brief introduction of myself. I have been associated with sales and marketing for past 9 years with some of the leading brands in India like Castrol India Limited and Tata Motors. And I had been into channel sales, B2B sales, rural marketing and various other sales and marketing assignments. Here I'll bring some practical aspects of the sales management which are not often taught in the textbook. But before that, I'd like to ask you, what do you understand by marketing? The definition of marketing, which we all know probably, marketing is all about identifying and meeting human and social needs. The legendary marketing guru Dr. Philip Kotler defined simply marketing as identifying and meeting customers' need with profit. So, if this is marketing, so what is about sales? Sales is a part of marketing where the actual transaction of finished product takes place and customer buy the products against monetary value. So if you would like to define sales, the definition would be like this. The sales is the last stage of marketing when goods and services get delivered to the customers against monetary value. Now we often hear the term about what's the difference between marketing and sales, etc. So let me tell you here, sales is the single most important aspect of the marketing and to the single most aspect of the organization as well. Because this is the place where the organization earns revenue and therefore profit and all their organizational objective and marketing objective are met. Every other aspects, every other department, let's say the marketing, the operation, the human resource involved a cost component. It's only when the sales happen, company generates revenue and profit and all objective of all other departments are being met. Therefore, sales management is a very crucial subject to study and all leading organizations in the globe are taking it very seriously nowadays in this hyper competitive age. So sales is the single most important part of business and it is the only source of revenue and profit. I'll give a small example. Take out any profit and loss sheet of any company. You will see the sales incurred is the only source of earning and rest everything in the profit and loss sheet goes into expense part. So therefore, more an organization can sell, the more a revenue can generate and therefore more profit. So now to elaborate about what are the differences between sales and marketing, I'll not put many points. So marketing is this and sales is that. I'll just show you the practical aspects. Marketing is a very vast subject. Marketing starts from product planning stage itself. Then the marketing team has to work for product development. In marketing, we do STP, segmenting, targeting, positioning, in which segment our product will be sold, which kind of customer will target, where will position. And once the product has been launched, we start advertising and then the sales take place. After the sales, many organizations starts customer relationship management as well. Now, the sequence of all these components or chronology of all these components may vary from organization to organization. Some of the organizations start customer relationship management first. Some starts advertising even before the launching of the product. But these are the general component which every sales and marketing organization has to carry. But if we can put it in certain lanes, we'll see that product planning, product development, STP, advertising, customer relationship management all are involved some costs. and where the company will get money to spend this amount. From sales, the organization can generate revenue and profit, which can substantiate all this cost and can generate profit for the organization. So now I think the difference between marketing and sales has been cleared. Sales is the end and most important part of the marketing, which can generate revenue and profit. Now we need to understand how sales cycle of an organization moves in and which point of the sales cycle company starts making revenue and profit. Let's say a very common example. Product manufactured in a factory and then it moved into warehouse. Warehouse is a company owned or company hired godown places where company put their stocks for easy distributing to their channel partners or distributors. So from warehouse, product has been sold to the channel partner. Now just notice the differences. From factory, the product has been moved to warehouse, but from warehouse the product is being sold to the channel partners, because the distributors or dealers, when they sold directly the product from the company already made their sales, and this is termed as channel sales. Now if the company can make the sales to the channel partners only, their end objective will not be met, because the product has to reach to the consumer, and the consumer, after consuming it, the repeat demand will create it, and the channel partner will put repeat orders, and company sales cycle will goes on. So even if after selling the products to the channel partner, company makes the required profit, but the organization need to ensure that as well, that the consumer, the ultimate consumers are buying their products, they are consuming it, and they are asking for repeat products. So from channel partners, the product moves to the consumers in basically two ways. In case of fast moving consumer goods like from soap to toothpaste to any food items or any small ticket items, the distributor build those products to the retailers. Retailers displays them in their respective retail shops. Consumer comes to them and buy. So this is a scenario in case of fast moving consumer goods. In case of the product is high in ticket size, like a big LED TV or a car or a machinery or something like that, then the dealer directly put their showrooms and directly sell to the consumers. In both the cases, from retail shop to the consumer, or in for a high ticket items to the dealer to the consumer sales happens. So broadly, for an organization, sales are for two types. One is channel sales, where the company is selling their products to the channel partner, and the second is when the channel partner are selling their product to the consumers. The organization need to monitor both the channel sales and consumer sale for a successful sales cycle, which can run under a profit. Now channel sales is a task for the management, and it's a comparatively simpler task, because as long as consumer sales are happening, the channel partner will keep on buying from the organization. The moment the consumer sales will stop, the channel partners will no longer buy from the organization. So it is very important for the organization to ensure that sales are constantly happening to the consumer level. So generally, every organization puts lots of efforts, lots of research on how their consumer sales can be grown. So let us understand what are the pattern or different kind of consumer selling. And the consumer selling types generally vary as per the ticket size. Let's assume you go to some grocery shops or any departmental store or any hypermarket, and you select a few 10 or 12 items. You bring all those items to the billing executive at the desk. The billing executive put all those items, scan them, and produce the final bill to you. You pay and come back. Now, the billing executive for the 95% cases will not insist you to buy a particular brand of grocery, because he or she will not have that much of time to invest for you. Here, the selling type is a transactional selling. The main objective of billing executive or the sales executive standing in the desk is to maximize their transaction in a day. Because for such a low ticket item, if a billing executive invests lots of his time on you to convince you buying a particular brand, that will not ensure a good return to him or her as well, and to the organization as well. So therefore they are focused on transaction and they are involved low in here. Well, let's take another example. Let's assume after the grocery shop you go into some other shops where you would like to buy some little more high ticket items, like any apparel store, or you move to some light fitting stores, or you move to some watch stores. Here the scenario will be little bit different. Here the sales executive will come to you, will know your requirement, will show various apparel brands they have, will show you latest trends, will assist you to choose your favorite brands. So here the sales executive will invest at least 5 to 10 minutes of his time, so that you can make the final decision of buying. Here the sales executive is more involved compared to grocery shops. So here we move from a transactional selling to a medium involvement selling. But even if here most of the time you will find and choose your apparel clothes on your own, the executive generally come only when you ask and explain what you want to know. Now move to the third part of the selling, which is a crucial, is a high involvement selling pattern. Where is the cases of high involvement selling? Let's assume you went to a car shop to buy a brand new car. The moment you enter in the dealership, the sales executive and sales manager will greet you, will offer you to sit, will offer you tea, coffee, water, etc. And then they will start explaining about the cars. They will offer to sit you inside the cars. They will explain all the features one by one. They will offer you test drive. They will ask for various family details of yours, that how many members are there in the family, what are about their ages, what are your travel preferences, how you would like to travel outside the city, and how often you will prefer the intra-city travel. And all these details, getting all the detail, they will completely assist you to choose the car you want. And after you choose the car model, they will completely assist you to get the finance done, so that they can make their sales. So it is an example of high involvement selling. Let's say another example. If you decide to buy some insurance or financial products, if you call some finance executives or insurance agent, they will come to at your place. They will start explaining about the details of various financial products their company is offering, and they will take out pen and papers and they will do various calculation in front of you, just to explain that why and how your money is worth investing on their financial products, and how much return you will get in coming period of time. The same is applicable for real estate. If you would like to buy a flat or a house, the agent will bring to you to the house, will show everything, will show various documents, will tell about the various prospect, will tell about the locality, and he or she will involve for a couple of days with you. He will arrange repeat visits of yours on the site as long as you are making the final purchase decision. And this involvement becomes even higher and in case of B2B project selling. Many organizations, for example any IT organization or infrastructure organization like L&T, are involved in B2B project selling. So let's say the government are planning to build a road, and they called few companies to put their tender. So there will be couple of meetings on their offering, and finally after a long discussion, long negotiations, all the formalities, tender process, the final order will be finalized. Let's say another example, let's say your organization install cooling towers in offices, and some organization making a new offices, they called you as a sales manager to explain your product. You have to go there, you have to present your products, then you have to understand their requirement, you have to make the draft or the design of the plan as per their requirement, you have to represent that, and after couple of presentation, couple of meetings, finally it will get finalized. So it is a project selling is a very high involvement selling. But why the people like in a car selling, in financial product selling, real estate selling, a project selling, investing so much time? Because it is worth investing for, because with every sales the organization makes considerable profit, and for that they can employ the sales managers or sales executives to much higher salary, to much higher perks. And here the sales managers and executives are much more competent as well. So now many consulting organization to project organization to automobile organization to white goods company are doing lots of research, lots of efforts, lots of analysis how they can constantly improve their high involvement selling. So I'll explain few of the strategic steps of high involvement selling. What I did here, that I have studied various organizations, what are the various strategic technique they are adapting to achieve a very effective high involvement selling pattern, and I have made a summary of them. So what are the common practices many organizations are doing which can lead to the excellence? So I'll explain some of these common but very effective practices. So first I'll start with transactional selling, because let's assume you are a sales manager of a fast moving consumer goods organization. So what will be the critical factor of the success of the sales pattern? First of all, you need to ensure that products are available in the retail shops. Because let's say a common example, you wake up in the morning and find out that your toothpaste has been finished. You immediately rush to the nearest grocery store and asked for an X brand of toothpaste. The grocery store replied that they don't have X brand of toothpaste, but they are having Y and Z brand of toothpaste. So it is generally, it doesn't happen that you will move to another shop just to find out your favorite X brand of toothpaste. You generally pick up the Y or Z brand of toothpaste because it is convenient. Most of the fast moving consumer goods sales happens like that. The product, people generally choose the product available at their nearest places. So it is very ensure for a fast moving consumer goods organization to make their products available in every nook and corners, in every retail stores, in every departmental stores, every hypermarket. Now the next step, Just product availability would not ensure a big sales, because in a grocery store or in a hypermarket there are generally 15,000 to 20,000 SKUs are present. So it is very big requirement that your product must be visible to the customers too. So product must be placed such a way in the shelves so that it is visible to the customers can come to them and pick them up or ask the sales executive to bring those products for them. Otherwise your competitor may eat your share and their sales can happen. And third, in this competitive marketplace, only mere product display is not enough. There has to be very innovative and creative promotional display materials, which we call POP material, point of purchase display materials. It must be available in the stores so that your product makes some differentiation inside the store and it catches the attention of the consumers as well. So in sales management, by ensuring proper POP display, you can achieve much higher sales. So let's assume if you are a sales manager or sales executive for a fast moving consumer goods, you need to ensure following factors. The dealers and distributors are maintaining adequate stocks. The products have been displayed properly as per the sales priorities. If some of the products may be high margin product for you, some of the products are low margin products for you, some of the products of your organization you want to actively promote, so you have to place those products in the shelves accordingly so that the product of your highest priority catches the attention of the consumer first. POP material has to be displayed very innovatively and very properly, and most importantly, the billing information must be available at the counter, because various consumer scheme, various sales promotion schemes always goes on. So even if customer misses the sales promotion part, the billing executive may just remind the customers about the sales promotion, or even customers pick the products and bring to the billing executive. The billing executive must charge the right prices for the product as per the ongoing sales promotion schemes. It will always generate higher customer satisfaction than normal. So to summarize, transactional selling, which is generally happen in a fast moving consumer goods or fast moving consumer durable products, it is more of system and process driven. A sales manager in an FMCG company has to be very system and process driven. He has to ensure various parameters in the stores, in the distributor level, so that they can attain higher sales. Now, what is the critical success factor for medium and high involvement selling? Now, here it is little different. The system and process requirement is important here, but here personal competencies and skill even more important, because here the sales manager or sales executive need to involve with the customer for a much higher time. The customer requirement will change from place to place, from situation to situation, from time to time, and therefore the sales manager or sales executive must possess for few things like advanced product knowledge, because customer can ask many questions about the products and the sales manager must be able to answer and explain that. The negotiation technique, because in B2B customer, business to business customers or high profile customer will be a very good negotiator as well, and to handle them the sales manager also need to be a very good negotiator to make a win-win solution for the organization and for the customer as well. The sales manager or executive must have very good objection handling skills. They must know various financial aspects, financing solutions or profit and loss sheet, so that they can equate. This is more applicable for B2B selling, so they can equate or relate how their product can help to grow the customer's business. and need to be well aware about the economic and social aspects, because in case of high ticket selling like a machinery, in a construction machinery or a project or some, let's say, some cooling towers, the customer requirement varies as per geography, as per their economic condition of the organization. Even some social aspects influence that, and the sales manager need to well aware about that, so he can handle all the possible objections the customer can make. So in nutshell, medium and high involvement selling is driven by skill and individual competencies. So now, what I was telling earlier, many organizations which are making cars, automobiles, which are making construction machineries, which are doing projects like L&T, the IT organization which is completely selling the only projects, are doing lots of research, lots of efforts how these high involvement selling can be done more effective way, and they are putting lots of investment to improve that, because every research, every investment is the worth investing for, because once a single sales of high involvement selling are done, that return a considerable revenue and margin for the organization. So what I have done here, I have studied the various organizations, what the strategic steps they are following to achieve a more efficient, more effective high involvement selling, and I have summarized them, and I have picked up what are the common practices they are doing, where they are putting some strategic components which are helping them to attain a big results. So I will be explaining you what are the strategic steps of high involvement selling here. So it starts definitely with taking an appointment. When you are trying to sell a construction equipment, a project, or trucks, a car, or something like that, or a real estate, or maybe an insurance product, you have to take an appointment with the prospective buyer, and your strategic component starts from here. Taking appointment is the opportunity to make the first impression. Many customers try to avoid the appointment based on past experience and perception. Often you may face rejection in the appointment phase itself, because probably some past experience of the customer, where customers has granted some appointment to the sales executive and his entire time he had invested was not worth for the appointment. So based out of the past perception, the customer reject on a new appointment. So what are the strategic or tactical component we must use here? While taking any business appointment, the sales professional must be confident and must convey that it is for benefit of the customers. Often a common mistake the sales professional do, they take an appointment for a tentative time, like, sir, tomorrow evening around 5 p.m. are you available, or tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. may I come to you. This tentative timing of appointment gives a customer an opportunity to skip the appointment, and also makes feel the customer that sales executive or the sales professional is not very serious about the particular timing. So it's a great psychology if a sales professional asks for the particular timing. Sir, can I meet you tomorrow morning at 10:20 a.m. sharp, or afternoon 2:45 p.m. sharp, as per your convenience? Though it gives a sense to the customer that the sales professional or the sales organization is very particular about the timing, and they will respect the time committed to you, and probably his appointment will be worth investing. So therefore is always mention a proper time and value that committed time whenever taking an appointment. That will definitely help you to create a fast impression. And every time while taking an appointment, the sales professional must be confident and must convey that it is the benefit for the customer only, because whatever the product or services he is going to present will bring big benefit to the customer if finally the customer goes for it. Well, once you get the appointment, the next day starts, and this is preparing. I have already explained, for a B2B selling or for a high involvement selling, the sales professional has to be very competent. The sales professional has to outsmart, and he has to prepare as well. If the customer finds out the sales professional is not that prepared, he is not knowing everything the customer wants to know, the organization loses their impression to all their potential customers, and definitely sales is being lost as well. So a checklist what the sales executive or sales professional needs to carry and prepare. The sales professional must carry their visiting cards, because the visiting cards makes a first impression. The sales executive must need to study all the required product literature, like product brochures, the comparison with competitors, the various value proposition analysis of the products, and he must carry with them so that he can hand over the hard copies to the customer as well. And as per the presentation requirement, the sales executive should carry laptop and smartphone. It will be vary as per the product, but there should be some tools through which the sales executive can present the benefit of the products to the customers. And very obviously a pen and notepad, because at the time of high involvement selling, the customer will raise various questions, various objections. Customer will express their various kind of special requirements, where the sales professional need to note it down and need to relate the feature of their products, how their product can satisfy the requirements of the various requirements of the customers. So a sales executive always need to prepare in detail about the feature, advantage and benefit of the product. She needs to be aware about the competition offering, as well as to handle the customer questions. Well, the next stage, after preparing, when the sales executive reaches to the customer, just after reaching, for an initial few seconds or for 1 or 2 minutes, the sales executive always have a great chance to create the interest of the customers. So after greeting the customer properly, sales executive can create initial interest of the customer in following way: by telling about the opportunity and benefit of the product. Here, the sales executive need not explain the products fully, or need not to present the products fully, because that may be initially boring to the customer, and it is not advisable to explain the all product features without knowing the customer requirement. But the sales executive tells some selected 1 or 2 lines about the product. To sir, our product has been trusted and being used by more than 2 lakhs of the customers in the country, and it is the most trusted product in his segment. It can definitely create some interest to the customer. The sales executive can quote about some customers in the surrounding neighborhood who has purchased the product and very happy using those products. So that will definitely create interest of the present potential customers, and he will invest more time in this for the sales meeting. And something, the sales executive can always say something about the organization. For example, if the sales executive from some automobile organization, the sales executive can definitely say that our organization is the leading manufacturer of automobiles in India, and every 100 customers buy an automobile product, 40 customers buy from our company, and from past 10 years we are offering the latest technology product with latest features and innovations. So in that way, the sales executive make the initial interest of the customers. Now the most crucial parts comes. After making the initial interest, there is a common mistake which many sales executive and sales managers do, and the leading organization in the globe are addressing these mistakes. The sales managers immediately starts presenting about their products. Like if you are from an automobile company and a sales manager goes to meet the customer and he immediately start explaining about their products without knowing the specific requirements of the customer. So it is a very wrong step. It is always very important to let the customer speak first about all his requirement. The more in detail we know the requirements, there will be more possibility to close the sales. So it's a common saying that in a sales meeting, if the customer speak the most, you will have more chance to close the sales. So sales manager or sales executive need to ask here some appropriate question to the customer, which will probe the customer to explain all his requirement, so that later on sales executive or sales manager can relate how their various product feature can satisfy the customer requirement. So how the sales executive can know the various requirements? He can ask question to the customers. The questions can be two types: open-ended questions which give information, and close-ended questions which give confirmation. And to know the various customer requirements, open-ended questions help mostly. For example, if the sales executive from any automobile organization, so he may probably ask to the customer, sir, how would like to travel in weekdays for intracity travel from home to your office or various business places, and how is your preference travel in the weekends in some outer places in the city? So that will probe the customer to explain his various preferences on traveling. There are some closed-ended questions often helps. For example, that do you like to drive yourselves, or you would like to put a separate driver for that? This is a close-ended question because these have a definite small answer. So I'll show some of the examples, some more examples of open-ended questions like this. What do you think how market will behave in next 2 years? If you are a sales executive for a financial product companies, how you generally spend spare times at home? Here a real estate agent or real estate sales manager may ask that kind of questions, or a computer manufacturer may ask this type of question. A computer which is having some gaming console fitted into it, so they may pitch to the customer to use their product at the spare time at their home. So some other examples: what all features should be in good television as per you? What kind of physical exercise you like and why? What kind of decoration do you plan to have your child birthday party? A company which manages various events, the sales professional from those company can ask this type of question: what kind of decoration you like? What kind of event you do want to organize? So that customer can explain his various preferences. What site do you expect to see on your vacation? Tour company, travel organization may ask this kind of question: how do you go about booking a ticket for a flight? So these are some open-ended questions, and here are example of some close-ended questions. Are you feeling better today? What is your height? Can you drive a car? Do you listen music? Do you play football? Is that your final answer? Is math your favorite subject? What is your favorite color? Sometimes you need to ask some close-ended question to get various confirmation from the customer. But to know the customer requirement as a whole, it is advisable to ask more of the open-ended question, so that customer can speak its hearts out, and later on you can relate your product features with the customer requirements. Well, After listening everything from the customer, it is very important to note down in your notepad and to summarize all the requirement, because when a sales manager is summarizing the customer requirement, it gives a confirmation to the customer the sales manager has listened properly what the customer has said and he understood as well. If the sales professional, the sales manager has understood his requirement, then customer gets an inner confidence that sales manager can probably offer the right kind of solution of his requirement as well. So after getting all the answers from the customers, a proper summarizing give the confidence to the customer that the sales executive has properly understood his or her requirement. Tell the customer that following are your present requirements. If my products can satisfy all these needs, will you buy it? That gives a first stage of assurance that if you can assure that your product will be able to satisfy all his requirements, the customer will buy. That is a very tactical and strategic step to close the sales. Well, next, presenting your product. After you understand all customer requirements, after you summarizing and assuring that you have understood properly all customer requirement, it's time to present your product. So during presenting as a product, you have to offer all kind of solution your product can offer to the customer needs. So the professional technique of a presenting product is like this. You already know the customer need. Now you have to explain the product features. A product features is a fact about the product. What kind of specification they have, what kind of electricity they consume, what kind of horsepower the product have, or any kind of product. It depends on product to product. And benefit is what customer gains out of these features to meet his specific requirement. So the sales professional has to explain the product feature first, and he needs to explain the benefit next on. So I'll show you an example of presenting. Let's say a customer need is cooling of his room, but he is little afraid that if he installs some cooling machine at his room, so it will increase his electricity bill, and he does not very interested to pay a bigger electricity bill, because that increases his monthly budget, that exceeds his monthly budget. And he is also a little bit worried that some machines if he install in his room, it should be looks well in his room, because he is fascinated about the looks of his house or his room. So the sales manager may present a good air conditioner from the company, and at first he may explain the features of the product, that is air conditioner which is having 1 ton cooling capacity, which is having 5-star rating and 5 color option. Now these are the product features, but how the product features will translate into the benefit of the customers is like this. The benefits: the AC fits with the customer requirement, because 1 ton cooling capacity will be enough to cool the room of the customers. It may be office room or his drawing room or bedroom. And the 5-star rating, which is basically involved with the electricity consumption, the more star rating it is, the less electricity it consumes. Though as the AC is having 5-star rating, it will consume the least electricity, and it will be lighter to the pocket of the customer, and the customer can easily afford it. And the air conditioner is coming with 5 color option, so customer can always be able to match the color with his room, which will definitely look at his room as well. So by this way, the sales professional can relate the features with the customer requirement and can successfully close the sales. Well, after presenting, the next step is always comes, the customer will put some objection to the sales professionals. So why generally in 80% cases customer puts some objection before making the final purchase decision? Because sometimes customers not get full confidence on the product. Some doubts sometimes still remains customer's mind, and the customers sometimes want to get the best possible bargain as well, so he find out some objections and put. The sales professional need to be very competent to handle it very smartly and very successfully. So what are the effective way to handle these customer objection? First and foremost, prepare. This was mentioned in the first step. Some very professional organization do arrange the training for their sales manager and sales professional in such a detailed manner. They always anticipated many objection questions, and the sales professionals are always prepared for that. So when a sales professional is prepared, that customer can raise this kind of objections, if they are prepared from before, they can handle it very well. Whenever customer is putting some objection, it is advisable that sales executives write down all the objections before offering any solution. Listening patiently to the customer often helps to cool down the customers and often gain the confidence of the customers, because whenever a sales professional is listening to the customers in detail, so customer gets an inner assurance that those executives can offer proper solution as well. And the third point is, whenever you are offering the solution of the objection of the customer, the sales professional need to explain with confidence and with full detail. Well, after successfully you handle all the objections, there will be a step on the final negotiation with the price. In a big ticket item, customer may ask some of the higher discounts or some additional benefit for them, and the sales professional need to handle it very smartly and very professionally as well. So how they can handle it? A trained and well prepared executive wins the negotiation. I already told, a sales executive or sales professional of a higher ticket item need to be outsmart and very competent, and he has to be a very good negotiator as well. A negotiation doesn't mean that I win, you lose. A good negotiation means a win-win, making a win-win solution for all. So first of all, the sales professional can take a proactive approach and can tell, so almost all companies offer discount only when the customer asks for it, but we are a very transparent organization, whereas we have already considered and provided you the pro forma quotation that what are the best possible discounts, and we put the best price at the beginning of itself, so that you can get a complete transparency on the pricing. And another is confident approach. When your product is higher in prices than your competitors, when your brand value is higher, you need to be confident as well and had to politely explain the customer, so we are offering so many unique features as a part of the products at no extra cost. Our product may be slightly costlier than any of our competition product, but if you consider the value for money for the products, it is the best in value for money, because if you want to buy these various components outside and fit into the product, it will be much costlier to you. So therefore the buying of our products make completely sense. So in this way you can lead to a successful negotiation. And the last and final steps comes, and which is very critical. Trust me, it's very critical. Even after presenting and executing all these steps successfully, many sales executives at the end are afraid to taking order and to close the sales, are afraid to ask for the paycheck from the customer, are afraid to ask for the advance amount from the customer because of fear, uncertainty and doubt. The sales executive sometimes comes into inner conflict that he has invested, let's say 1 hour or 2 hours in the meeting of the customer, and at the end of the day if customer says no on the face, that his entire effort will be go in vain. There are some uncertainty remains where the customer can buy the product at this point of time, or he can postpone the sales, or sometimes sales executive can doubt their performance as well, whether the customer are fully convinced or not, whether he or she ask for the final order right now, or he or she can postpone the asking for a later time. So but it is very important to close the sale, because a sale is not a sale until it is closed, until the paycheck is received from the customers and the money has been realized and customer putting the final order. So it is very important to handle with the fear of rejection, the uncertainty of the customer decision, and doubts whether the customer has convinced or not. Here the sales executive, the sales professional has to be very smart, very professional, and very confident, and he has to be meticulously and religiously follow the sales closing step. So always ask for order and advance. A sale is not a sale until it is closed. Always ask for order after successful objection handling. If the customer says later, ask politely whether he has any further doubts. If customer says, well, I have understood everything you have presented, I can also understand your product can satisfy my needs and requirements, but I'll let you know tomorrow, or I'll let you know next week. The sales professional should ask, sir, is any special reason that you are postponing your purchase plan to the next week? Can I do anything for you so that you can make your decision right now? And in certain cases, if the postponement is inevitable, ask for the next appointment date or the tentative ordering date, so that, and you note it in your notepad, so that on the particular date you can immediately approach to the customers, you meet with them and ensure the order, because you have to close the sales in order to realize revenue and profit, and in order to reach to the end marketing objective. Well, once you close the sales, every successful selling helps the organization to survive and grow. I have already mentioned that sales is the only way, the only step where the organization generate revenue and profits. So every successful selling is a success to the organization, and it is the path where the organization grow. So therefore it is, sales management is a very important field of study, and lots of consulting company, lots of professional organization are putting into the topmost priority. The CEOs, the top management officials are generally chosen from the sales background, who are very well aware and comfortable on the sales path. And every successful selling is very important for the sales professional, sales manager, the senior sales manager, for CEO as well, because in every success in a high ticket item selling gives more confidence and more learning to the sales managers, and they grow in their career path as well individually. Well, I told us why a sales manager need high competencies. Probably you have understood why sales manager need high competencies. For a fast moving consumer goods item, the sales manager has to be very system and process driven. He has to ensure various system and processes so that consumer gets the feel and availability of the product on the right place, right time. Whereas a sales manager of high ticket selling item or B2B sales products need to be very competent on negotiation skills, with advanced product knowledge, with financial aspects, on the various knowledge of social and economic factors. And because of this high competency requirement, a sales job is always a very high paying job in the universe, in the globe. And apart from the competencies, a sales job often needs to deal with the following things: the difficult negotiations. A sales manager has to be a very good negotiator to crack the deals. There are often business rejection. There are no guarantee of successes. Only you can improve your process or your customer handling technique, your negotiation skill, but at the end of the day, the sales manager or the organization will face some of the business rejection, which the sales professional need to handle very smartly, very politely, and immediately need to move to the another sales meeting. The rejection handling is a skill. it's a inherent quality. And the companies, very interestingly, organizations prefer the people who have better emotional intelligence, who can handle rejection and immediately move to the next assignment or the next customer to ensure the sales. And a strong multitasking, a sales job requires strong multitasker, because a sales manager needs with follow up with all customers in his pipeline. He has to attend in the sales call meeting, he has to follow up for the delivery of the order, he has to follow up with the plant for manufacturing of the product, he has to follow up with the supply chain department, he has to deal with the finance department for various finances of the product, he has to be a good analytics person so that he can maintain all the data and make all analyses. So a salesperson has to be a multitasker, and therefore the organization tends to pay hire a sales professional who is a very good multitasker. And a sales job also deals with day-to-day uncertainties, but it is a fun in the other way as well, because every time you have to do something new, you learning something new, and you are, after every successful sale closing, you are feeling a sense of achievement. Sometimes long working hours, it happens in a sales job, but I already told that's why the sales job is most high paying jobs in the universe. And customer objection handling, which I already mentioned. At the end, I would like to explain you this: if you want to grow in your career, if you want to grow your own business or in the organization, if you climb up the ladder of hierarchy, selling is inevitable. Because not only sales professional or sales manager, in every role you will have some aspect of selling which you need to be master at, therefore you can grow on your task. For example, a CEO must be able to selling his or idea and plan to the management and to the investor. If a CEO is unable to sell his idea to the investors, the organization will not get the necessary fund they require for the required operations. The CEO need to sell his idea to the board of director as well, to various approvals. HR manager, the prime important job for HR manager to acquire various talents within a limited resource, within a resource constraint. So an HR manager need to be very outsmart to convince a talent that he or she must be work for her organization, and they are paying the best, they are giving the best offer to the talent. A trainer must need to sell his idea to the trainees, like I am doing it here, to explain my learning to you so that you have a better clarity on the subject of sales management. A sales manager, the primary job of a sales manager, not necessarily to sell his end customer, but to selling the convince the sales goal to his entire sales team. Once the entire sales team is convinced about the sales goals, so they can drive it from heart and they can achieve excellent results. So sales manager has to a very good conviction master, so who can convince his entire team to chase a higher goals. And last but not the least, a sales executive, ultimately he is the face of the organization, he is the brand ambassador for the organization, and selling his product and benefits and his convincing capability to the end customer. So if you want to grow in your professional corporate career, you have to be a very expert on sales subject in sales management, and you have to continuously improving on it. So all the best and thank you.